higher education. We are excited for you to join us today about our new series, which is Applying for College. So we're going to give you some information on how to apply for college, some tips and tricks that you can use in order to help narrow down your college search and help you along with that application. So if you have any questions, please reach out to us. You can talk to us in the chat, or you can contact any one of the regional outreach coordinators. So my name is, again, Zachary Cullum. I am with the Southwest region, so obviously I won't be able to take your calls tonight. But that is something, if you want to reach out to any of our other outreach coordinators, we'll be happy to help you. If you do need help in Spanish, we also have outreach coordinators who speak Spanish. So please reach out to them as well if you are needing any sort of assistance. So we are going to start out today kind of talking about finalizing your list. So with that, there are thousands of colleges that you can go to throughout the United States. So we hope that you pick one in Indiana because we have some great colleges in Indiana. But if you're looking at out of state, the first step is to kind of narrow down your college search and figure out what colleges are going to be best for you. So maybe you are someone who likes a small campus or a very large campus. You want to live in a big city or close to a big city. These are all things to start thinking about when you're narrowing down your college search. If you are confused or you need any help, learnmoreindiana.org has tons of great information that you are able to look at. So if you want to take a short quiz to find out some colleges that are good fit for you, then please hop on our website and do that. So you want to have kind of a mix of colleges that you're looking at, some that are sure fits. So that is something that meets all of your criteria. Maybe you also meet all the admissions criteria as well. So you might be looking at a community college or a closer, like a regional campus of IU or Purdue, something that is going to be a little for you to kind of start and then transfer if you want to. A match fit, you know exactly that you have the minimum scores and everything that you need in order to get accepted into that school. And then a reach fit, maybe you are reaching for maybe one of the private schools in Indiana, or you're wanting to go to an Ivy League school or something like that, and you're not quite there, but you might be able to get there. Go ahead and have those on the list as well, because you never know what the college is going to do in order to help you get enrolled there. So some questions to ask yourself: does this college offer the major that you want to be or that you're interested in? If you're going for a bachelor's degree and the college doesn't offer the major that you're interested in, it may not be the best fit for you. So you want to make sure that they offer the classes that you are going to enjoy taking so that you're not wasting your time, things like that. Minimum SAT or ACT score or GPA. Some colleges are open enrollment. Some colleges have a strict GPA or testing requirement. So that's something that you would need to figure out and see if you meet those. And if not, what can you do in order to get to that level? So what's the average SAT or ACT? Just because there's a minimum doesn't mean that the college doesn't have flexibility to look at that. So you may be just a little bit lower or a little bit higher than the minimum, but it helps to kind of figure out what exactly their students are looking at, year to year. So some colleges may have a higher SAT but a lower GPA average, and then other ones might be opposite. So it just depends on what the college is looking at. The important deadlines are going to be one of the things that you need to look out for the most. I know that a lot of schools in Indiana, they're looking at like a November 1st deadline. So you want to make sure that you meet all of those deadlines, one for early acceptance, but also a lot of times when you do the application, they consider you for more scholarships. So you want to make sure that you are meeting all those deadlines so you're not behind other students that might have met those. So what activities, intramural programs, student resources are on the docket for you? So if you want a study abroad opportunity, so you want to make sure that that school can set you up with those study abroad opportunities. So you want to make sure the resources are on campus match kind of what your goals are after college. What are your living options? Are you looking at staying on campus? Are you looking at getting an apartment with some friends of yours? So, and what your scholarships and everything require of you. So my freshman year, I had to live on campus in order to utilize the scholarship. So that is something that the schools may require of you. So you just want to be mindful of that. And then what kind of financial aid might be available? So students apply for financial aid every year, but they don't necessarily apply for scholarships every year. One of the things that I wish I would have done more is to apply for scholarships my sophomore, junior, and senior year. So there is plenty of money to go around, and the schools might have that opportunity as well. So make sure that you are taking advantage of it. But you don't want to go into the middle of the semester and not know how to pay for your education. So make sure that you talk to the financial aid office and see exactly what your charges and everything would be. So taking a tour is something that we strongly encourage as well, because we want you to get on campus. We want you to feel the energy and see what the residence halls are like, and see if you really jive with the student population and everything. So that is something we always strongly encourage, an in-person campus. That way you might look at the residence hall that you're staying in and walk from that to where your classes are going to be. If it's going to be a 15 or 20-minute walk and you don't wake up early well in the morning, then it might be something that you look at a smaller campus or something that is more congruent with that. So make sure that you get on campus. If you can't, there are several colleges, most colleges in Indiana now have a virtual option where you can take a tour of the whole entire campus. So we actually on our Learn More Indiana site have Choosing a Right College, where you can look and take virtual college campus tours throughout a lot of the schools in Indiana. So make sure that you take advantage of that so you can kind of see if this is something that's going to be good for you before you go and take an in-person campus. So make sure you set up a virtual visit with a admissions counselor as well, because you're going to get a lot of information from that admissions counselor, and they are going to be the best person in order to get that information to you. So, but also check out the school's website, look at all the publications and everything. You'll probably be getting a lot of mail from the schools, so make sure that you check that out and make sure that it is a good fit for you. And then if it's not, go ahead and cross them off your list. But if it is, move them into kind of a want to get more information column on your search. So actually, for applying, there's several different parts of the college application. The first one is actually the form that you're going to fill out. So some schools have a paper application. Most actually do it online now. So whatever way that you're wanting to do that, you can. Some schools may have application fees. If you are in any special TRIO programs or free and reduced lunch or a different program in the state of Indiana, we may be able to waive those fees for you, or the college may be able to waive those. So that's always something. If you can save $35, $40 and you're applying to 5 or 6 different colleges, that can add up a lot. So make sure that you always ask to see if there's a fee waiver. And actually, this week is College Go Week, where a lot of schools are waiving their application fees. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but just wanted to keep that in mind for you, that college applications don't always cost money. It's a transcript, so you're going to want to send a college your transcript. Sometimes it's your current transcript if you're a senior, which will have your 6th semester GPA. You will most likely have to send your 8th semester GPA as well, your final transcript before direct admittance, but that is something that the college will let you know. Entrance exams, are you going to need to take the ACT or SAT? A lot of schools do test optional admission, so that is something that you may or may not have to take the ACT or SAT. So again, make sure that you're looking into that. Letters of recommendation, we'll talk about the a little bit more in a little bit. But we want you to have recommendations from teachers, coaches, people that know you and understand how you work and the character of you. So make sure that you are talking to those people now before you actually have to submit the applications, so they can kind of be thinking about what they want to say in the letter of recommendation. Some schools have essays, some don't. So there may be a prompt that you need to talk a little bit more. Kind of a pro tip, those might be the same prompts that you are talking about for your scholarship. So you may be able to reuse some of your previously done essays. So always, if you're can save some time or save some money, that's going to be a good thing for you. You might have to audition or submit a portfolio. So that's something you can start gathering portfolio pieces, or be thinking about if you are doing, if it's drama or if it's music, what performance pieces have you already done, or if there's something that you want to challenge yourself with, start prepping for that now so you are not caught off guard when you finally go to do that piece. And then interviews. Some colleges have interviews, so you want to be thinking about maybe some prompts that you were talking about in your essays, or a lot of times the questions that they ask. So maybe some hardships that you've dealt with. Give us a time that you've shown some leadership, things like that. So start be thinking about that, so you're, again, not unprepared for doing those interviews. So step one, always do your research. I'm a big advocate of he who has the most information wins in these types of situations. So what do you need for your application? Do you need really good grades? Again, some schools are open enrollment. Some might need for you to have a 3.7 GPA with academic honors. So it is something that you want to make sure that you are looking and applying for schools that are semi within your reach. So you can go up a little bit. So what SAT scores? You'll probably need your social security number. So if you haven't started to memorize that now, that is something that we highly encourage for you to start doing. High school codes, so they are able to reach out to your counselors if they need a transcript or those letters of recommendation that we're talking about. A list of extracurricular activities. So if you are someone who is hyper involved in the community around you, that is great. So not all schools just want a student that has a 4.0. They want to know that they are involved, that they've done some community service. Maybe you're on a sports team, or you've done some band, choir, things like that, or that you're in some clubs. So it's not just academics. A lot of times you can get to the school that you want to by your extracurriculars. So that's always something that you want to have a list of. If you've won any awards, this is the time to brag about yourself. So we want you to, if you have any awards, if you have lettered in any of your high school sports, things like that, this is the time to kind of do a humble brag. So if you have part-time jobs and diploma that you are looking at doing. So some will get you there with a core 40. Some of you may need a academic honors, technical honors, or international baccalaureate. So just be thinking about those types of things and have that information ready so you can readily give it, that it's available for the school so you can not drag your feet on it. So what components are required? Do you need an essay? Do you need letters of recommendation? You may or may not, depending on the school, but it's always great to have. You may need to take the SAT or ACT again. So if you're just a junior, you can start doing that. We encourage you to do that your second semester of your junior year. But if you're a senior, you will probably need to be starting to do that soon. So COVID may kind of throw a wrench in those plans. So make sure that if your test date is canceled, that you look at the next test dates in order to get that information in. So, and again, deadlines. If there are strict deadlines, you may need to make sure that you meet those. Just so, again, you can be considered for all aspects of admissions and for financial aid and scholarships. So get organized. That's one of the things that I always had a little bit of issues with, is just organizing. How do you take the 10 or 15 college applications and kind of put it into one place? So if you have, if you're technology minded, you can use like an Excel spreadsheet. If you want to use Google Drive to host all of your essays, your transcripts, and things like that, so you can just attach it real quickly, that's great. If you just want to make copies of everything and have it in a folder, that's great too. But make sure that you're organized, because that's going to be helpful when you go and do all these steps. So keep track of those essay prompts as well, and you want to make sure that you are getting a list of people who could give you a letter of recommendation, and that you write those down. And if you're waiting for something, make sure that you write down you're waiting for that person to send it to you. Because you don't want it to get lost in the mail or an email, or for the person to forget, because we all forget things sometimes, that they are writing a letter of recommendation for you. So it never hurts to kind of follow up on those things. So one of the things that always keeps me sane is, if I have deadlines, go ahead and put it in your calendar. Because that way it gets your mental it gets it off your mental bandwidth and onto your calendar, so you can write it down in a planner. You can use like Google Calendar or something like that to help you with it. Whatever way that keeps you on track, because again, you do not want to miss these deadlines. So your school counselor is going to be one of the biggest advocates for you. So they will be able to kind of set you in the right direction. A lot of this is going to be you taking the initiative to go contact the recruiters or to go and do the search, but they can kind of help get everything started by giving you some pamphlets. So if the recruiter is going to be like in your lunch or something like that, they can let you know what that time and date it's going to be, so you can go and talk to them. If you need a copy, they can send it to you as well, or they can send it to the recruiter. So if they need it from parchment, that's what your guidance counselor will be able to do. So if you have any questions about your applications, you can always ask us with the commission. You can ask your guidance counselor, but also ask the people who are around you. Maybe you have friends that graduated a couple of years early, that they can give you kind of an inside scoop of what the admissions process is. But talk to the recruiters and talk to these people, because they are going to be big advocates for you. So application fees, SAT fees, if they're causing some sort of financial hardship, again, talk to your guidance counselor and talk to the school to see if they would be able to waive those application fees for you, or the testing fees. It never hurts to ask, because if it's a no, then it's a no. But if it's yes, maybe you saved $45 to $60. So I always love saving money. Hopefully that's something you can take advantage of. So a little bit about fee waivers. Most colleges offer, if you're a 21st Century Scholar or you demonstrate financial need, they do offer fee waivers for you. To learn what colleges do offer that, again, learnmoreindiana.org, please go and utilize that website, because that is going to be a wealth of knowledge for you. And again, I talked a little bit about College Go Week and the application week. This week, several colleges are waiving their fees. So get on to the Learn More Indiana site. There is a link where you click Show Table. It's going to do a drop down where you can see all the colleges in Indiana and if they are giving a fee waiver or not. So again, take advantage of this, because if you can save $60, that is something that I would always want to do. Then you could take your family out to dinner or something like that, whatever you want to do with that money. But that is something, make sure that you can save that money if you can. So retake entrance exams. Again, a lot of colleges are doing test optional admissions, but some may require you to retake the SAT or ACT. So make sure and find out ASAP if the colleges that you're applying to require this. Because again, the more information that you have, the better that you can plan your junior and senior year. So if you're a senior, go ahead and take it as soon as possible. If you're a junior, there's not a big rush, but it's always good to practice. So a lot of schools do super scoring as well, where if you take 2 or 3 SATs, they may take the best scores from those three schools or from those three tests. So you want to make sure that you are taking that as much as possible. Half the time it's just learning how to take the test, not necessarily what you're going to be tested on, but the other half is going to be that knowledge. So make sure that you're doing that. If you need to do SAT prep or ACT prep, if you go to act.org or collegereadiness.collegeboard.com, those are going to be great resources for you to take some practice exams, and they can also link you out to maybe there's some learning centers that might do fee SAT and ACT prep where you can pay a little bit of money to help them for you to take that test. So that's something I always look into. So always check and see if there's any sort of test prep option. You don't want to go in blind to not know what is on that test, so make sure that you get that done. Letters of recommendation. We always love people who are in your corner. So again, think about coaches, people in your life, people who you've grown up with. Maybe it's a pastor at your church. Maybe it's your coach. It's a teacher that has really known you and seen you develop over the last couple of years. So we want those people in the corner or in your corner. So make sure that you get letters of recommendation from them. Ask well in advance because if you ask the night before, you're going to get a night before letter of recommendation. So you want the people who are doing this to be able to think about everything that you've been through the last couple of years. You don't want something that's rushed and that they are going to be putting together fast. So it's okay to remind people. We all forget something. So we don't want it to be your letter of recommendation that a person forgets. So make sure that you are giving them usually about 2 weeks notice. You may send them a reminder the week before it's due, just to say, hey, I know you're working on this, but it's due at this point. Would you mind sending it by this date, so that you can get that. Always, always, always write a thank you note. And that is something that, whether it's going to admissions, whether it's someone that has given you a gift, or, when you are getting out and into your job, a thank you note to the recruiter or to the people who are interviewing are always good. That's a good practice to have. So always be writing thank you notes because it's that little touch that might send you over the edge to getting in. You never know. So writing your essay, usually the essays are based on a prompt. So a lot of kind of the ones that are hot this year are, how has COVID affected you? Or how have you overcame adversity? So if you have a story to tell, this is the time for you to tell it. So make sure that it has a strong beginning, strong middle, and strong end. A lot of times that we write, especially the things about ourselves, we have a great beginning, a great end, but we kind of falter a little bit in the middle. So focus on one experiment. If you talk about a time that you failed, make sure how you say how you grew from it, because no one wants to hear about your failure and not see the progress after that. So we want to see how you overcame that adversity and how that has made you better. So this is the time to brag about yourself. So if you are the captain of your soccer team and you led your soccer team to the state finals, talk about that. So don't try to guess about what the college is going to want to see from you. Just speak from the heart and make sure that you are telling a story that is convincing and true. Because a lot of times they may try to fact check this. So you don't want to be over embellishing your story as well. So if there's language that you don't use that to try to tell a different story that's not you. They want to see who you are to make a good decision on if you're going to be a good fit for their school. So stick to the length suggested. If they say 1 page and you write them 15 pages, they may not read all of it. So you may have wasted your time. So don't go too short, don't go too long. It's like, a baby bear's porridge? You just want it just right. And proofread, because that is something no one wants to see an essay that's riddled with typos. If that is someone where you hand somebody your resume and it's got a bunch of spelling errors on it, they might not take your resume seriously. And that's really what a college application is your resume to get into the college. So it's good practice to to make sure that you are putting yourself in the best light. Finally, step 7, submit. I work with a lot of students who get their letters of recommendation in, they get their transcripts in, but they don't actually submit their application. So make sure that you click submit. If there's anything that the school needs to follow up on, they will. Print that confirmation page. And that's something that when you print the confirmation page, it's for all of the schools that you've applied to. Also, when you do the FAFSA or any scholarship applications, print that confirmation page as well, because that is something that if they say, oh, we didn't get your application, you can hand them that piece of paper and say, hey, this is the time and the date that I applied, and that is something where it can help you if you have any sort of appeal. If you're waiting for any materials to be sent, make sure you check up on those. So if you send it to your guidance counselor and they haven't done it in a couple days, just email politely that the school is still waiting on this information. So they may be waiting for you to take your ACT or SAT again, but make sure that you follow up on everything and just don't assume that everything's going to go through correctly. If you are a 21st Century Scholar, college application was one of your senior activities, so make sure that you log in to ScholarTrack to check that off. If you are needing any help with getting into your ScholarTrack, please contact your outreach coordinator. Again, I will not be available to take your call tonight, but if you give me a text, if you shoot me an email, or give me a call, I will get back to you as soon as possible. So we are going to break just for a few minutes, so if you have any questions, you can get those into the chat or contact the outreach coordinator, but we will see you back here in just a few minutes. And we are back. It is a beautiful Wednesday outside. I don't know if you've been outside lately, but we encourage you to do that. I was just outside for a second. So again, if you need any help, please reach out to us, the regional outreach coordinators. Again, I won't be available to take your call, but we are here to help, and also your guidance counselor. And if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat as well. So we should be able to help you out. So the last half of the presentation, we are going to look at some facts. So it's just from frequently asked questions. So how many schools should I apply to? We recommend looking at 4 to 6. You don't have to apply to that many. I know when I was looking at applying to schools, I only applied to 2 schools. So that is something that if you know exactly where you want to go, you can go towards, 2 or 3. But if you're kind of unsure where you want to go ahead and apply to as many as possible, especially if the applications are free. The only thing that you're out at that time is your time. So we strongly encourage that. Make sure that it meets some of that mix. Your sure thing, you meet all the qualifications, and maybe your stretch goals as well, that you kind of mix and match for those in between. So what are colleges looking for? They are looking for students to be successful on their campus. And success doesn't mean necessarily just a 4.0 GPA. It means someone who's going to be active in maybe student government, or that will be someone who is good, a good athlete for them. It may be someone who does great research and is looking at going on and helping the school with their research projects. So it's not just GPA and diploma type that schools are looking for. They want kind of a well-rounded student. So they're going to look at, again, your test scores, GPA, letters of recommendation. They're going to look at your extracurriculars. So if one of those is not as strong as the other ones, definitely in your essays, lead with the thing that you're strongest with. But also see what you can be doing right now to improve. Maybe it's your test scores, maybe it's your extracurricular. Maybe you should do some volunteer work and have that on your resume as well. So places are always looking for help. So make sure that you reach out to those if you feel like that would be beneficial for you and for the business as well. So if you don't meet the average criteria, go ahead and apply anyway. Again, if you're only out your time or $40 or $50, because again, colleges are looking at everything. So you may feel like you're not a great fit, but the college may be really excited about having you as a student. So make sure that you don't discredit anything while you're doing your search, that you keep all your options open. So should you apply early? So there are kind of 2 different options that students can do. Early decision, and a lot of times if there is a hard deadline, like November 1st or something like that, it is going to be for early decision. And usually those are binding, so you would need to accept them, and with the understanding that you're going to have adequate financial aid. So if you're not sure that you're going to have enough financial aid to actually attend the school, then that might not be the best opportunity for you. Maybe you look into early action, that just means you find out that you were accepted early. So a lot of times you will get this information maybe in February or March, but you'll definitely have it before May 1st. So make sure that you are looking at all options that you have, look at all the financial aid packages that you may be receiving, and see what's going to be the best fit for you. Doesn't mean that you can't change that. You're not like wholly locked into one pathway for the rest of your college career. You may end up transferring, you may end up doing something different than you had planned, and that's okay. But you just want to make sure that if you do pivot, that you have all the information and opportunities lined up kind of post-pivot so you can go seamlessly into it. So applying early might be best for students who exactly know, if you know that you've wanted to go to one college your whole life, you have all the financial aid information that is available to you to make an informed decision, and you have a strong academic record, then that's going to be a great opportunity for you. Go ahead and submit that application. But if it's an early decision, make sure it's your dream college before applying. If not, then keep your options open because you never know what sort of financial aid package or opportunities that you may have with a certain school. So can I use the same essay or portfolio? Absolutely. There's no use to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to have a new portfolio or essay. But if it's an essay, you may need to kind of tailor that essay to exactly what they are looking for. Just like every great resume or cover letter, you may choose to use topics that they have talked about and put them into everything. So build your essays and resumes and things like that around the prompts and what they've been looking for. So make sure if you're applying for a different scholarship or that you've applied for a scholarship and you're using the same one, make sure that you update the name of the scholarship so you're not submitting another essay for for a different scholarship opportunity. So you may have to write a new essay, but make sure that you should be able to have like 5 or 6 different essays that you could probably use interchangeably. So you could start writing those now if you wanted to, or you can wait until you get some more prompts to do so. So what is the Common App? Some colleges, about 900 colleges, they use the Common App, which you can do one application for all 900 of those colleges. So that is something that you usually put a credit card in. If there's any sort of application fee, they will kind of charge it all at once, or they may choose to kind of charge it by school. So if you have some fee waivers, it may not work correctly, so you may need to do a direct application with the school. But the Common App can save you some time, maybe. So if that is something that you're wanting to look into, go to commonapp.org, and they should be able to help you out. Also, your guidance counselor will be able to help you out as well. They should know a little bit more about the Common App. So the list of Indiana Common Application recipients are on the screen behind me. So make sure that if you are looking at any of those, then you will be able to submit that Common App. If not, go ahead and just do a direct application because it's not going to take much more time just gathering all that information and everything. So you should be able to do whichever one that you want. So what if my test scores or grades are too low? Again, this is something we've talked about a lot, but that's okay. So some colleges are looking for someone who meets every single aspect of what they're looking at, but some colleges can be negotiable. So if that's something that you have low test scores but a high GPA and strong maybe community service or extracurricular activities, that may push you over the edge instead of having to have a great SAT or ACT score. But if you feel like you need to get up your scores, make sure that you take some of those test preps and that you also make sure that you study as hard as you can so you're prepared to retake those tests. So you may be also eligible for different scholarships based on your SAT or ACT scores. So think of it as not necessarily getting into the college, but it also might be able to help you finance that college a little bit more. So if you don't get into the college that you're wanting to, you can always do a transfer. So maybe you start at like a community college or somewhere closer to home, and then you transfer to that school that you've always been dying to want to go to. So when you get that diploma, it's not going to give you the diploma for the schools that you went to previously, unless you received like a certification or an associate's degree. But when you transfer in classes, when you transfer those, your diploma is going to be from the school that you transfer into. So that is something that you can save maybe a little bit of time and a little bit of money by maybe getting those prerequisites a little bit closer to home. So I think I got a little bit ahead of myself, but if you are transferring, it is a great way to save money. So community colleges are often a little more affordable. So if you're going to maybe a private school, that tuition can be like $1,800 or $2,000 a class, you can save some money by transferring in those from a community college. Another thing that you can do is if your school has any dual credit or AP classes, that can save you a lot of money as well. So the more credits that you can get in high school and then transfer those, the further along that you're going to be, and it's probably going to save you some time and probably save you some money as well. So that's always something that's strongly encouraged. So if you maybe have some test anxiety, or if you are wanting just a little bit smaller of a campus, those smaller maybe regional colleges or community colleges might be a great opportunity. To double check and see what your classes are going to transfer in, the Indiana Commission for Higher Education, we've worked very hard to make sure that things are transferable and that you have a guide to what those classes are going to transfer into. So if you go to transferin.net, you can see exactly what those classes are going to be transferring into, and then that way you can kind of be prepared about scheduling and things like that. So definitely check out transferin.net because it's going to be a great resource for you. So should I apply if I don't think I can afford it? Yes. So schools, again, they have a lot of need-based aid that they may be able to help you with. That is something that they should be able to kind of let you know exactly, this is your state financial aid, this is your federal financial aid, this is the maybe third-party scholarships that you've gotten from maybe where your parents work, or where any of those extracurricular activities that you've done, you may be eligible for extra scholarships. So they'll be able to tell you exactly how much it's going to cost, how much financial aid you're going to be receiving, and see if that's going to be a great fit for you. Just a reminder, the FAFSA for the 2021 school year will open up on October 1st. So the sooner that you get that done, the sooner you are going to be able to see how much federal financial aid that you'll be receiving, and then we can let you know on the state side how much you're going to be eligible for as well. So if you have any questions about our state financial aid programs, please reach out to our outreach coordinators or your guidance counselors, and we can let you know a little bit more about what you might be eligible for based on those things. So if you don't get into your dream school, again, that's okay. So you might be able to transfer there, or you might find that a school that you have never really truly thought about might be a better fit for you. Maybe they have the study abroad opportunities that you were looking for, or maybe that they have different opportunities that you can take advantage of that the other school can't. So don't forget about your college options. So if you've reached for a college and you don't get into it, that's perfectly fine. But make sure that you don't let that set you back. So make sure that you're still applying for other colleges that fit within the guidelines and what you're wanting to see with your education. And don't just stop looking at colleges or stop attending because you didn't get into them. So some resources that are here to help you take advantage of the different opportunities. Learn More Indiana. LearnMoreIndiana.org is a great opportunity for you and a great resource if you're looking at really anything towards higher education. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and YouTube because we come out with different things that might be helpful for you. If there's something that you want to see, reach out to us and reach out to your outreach coordinator, and we will be able to pass that along, and maybe we'll be able to do another Facebook Live or something like that. Maybe you'll see me a little bit more. Who knows? That's an added benefit, but that is something that we want to know what content is relevant to you. So please let us know because we want to get that to you as fast as possible. So again, the outreach coordinators are here to help you. If you need assistance in Spanish, please call our Spanish lines as well. And this is something that we are more than happy to help you in whatever way that we can. So I wish you guys the best of luck, and if there's anything that you need, please let us know. If not, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week.
You're on.